Hey, welcome back to That Stupid Podcast. It is the 19th of August, 2014.
And we have a special Wildcard Wednesday for you.
That's
it is
right.
a super secret top plan priority thing that we've got going on. We're doing an interview with
Mary Moline.
who is
She is the track director for
Whedonverse of Dragon.
Yeah!
The Whedonverse track is huge, spanning the entire, Whedon universe.
Yes. What is the Whedon universe? Well, it's all things Marvel. It's all things
Buffy, Firefly, everything
Firefly.
that you probably love.
Dollhouse.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah, everything you love.
Everything. Dr. Horrible Sing-Along
Dr.
blog.
Horrible Sing-Along blog.
Everything that you love, chances are Joss Whedon had a pinky, finger, toe, something dipped in the water. Or maybe he just went for a swim.
And killed something in it.
So make sure to stick around and watch that because you're going to find some exclusive information for DragonCon and hear about the stuff you should go check out.
So, Mary, the first question we want to ask you is, even before we get into specifically the list of people who are going to be at the Whedon Universe track this year, who are you looking forward to the most yourself? I'm just curious.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's not a tough one or anything.
No.
Well, no, it's sort of like picking your favorite of your children.
It is,
Which
yeah.
seems like, oh, no, this one I like the best, but don't tell the other ones.
Right.
Honestly, probably J. August Richards, just because he has been to DragonCon before, and he has a reputation with the staffers for Whedon Universe with being the nicest dude on the planet. Like,
Wow, okay.
literally just the coolest guy ever. He came to the top 10 of, Whedonverse Moments panel and just hung out with people for an hour, for no reason. It wasn't a scheduled thing. He just showed up because he thought it would be cool.
That's really awesome.
And so,
Yeah.
and he's just so freaking nice and just such a wonderful guy. And I wasn't part of the track the last time he came.
Okay.
And so I'm looking forward to meeting him just because I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Right. Well, and it doesn't
And
hurt
so-
that he's Deathlock. I mean,
I know, right?
So, yeah.
Well, and before, he had actually said, that he was looking, before, Cap 2 came out, that he was looking to be Sam. And so when that got announced and he wasn't, and then he was Deathlock, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So...
All right, so basically we're gonna go over the list here of the people that we've got attending that will be the guests for Whedonverse. And I know, go ahead. I'm gonna let you do it because you're super excited.
I have to start. So this was just announced at the beginning of August, and I didn't know he was coming, but Adam Baldwin. So Jane Cobb is coming to DragonCon, and I am super excited for that.
Jane Cobb. Now I've got to ask you, and I gotta click back.
Yeah.
I've got to ask you, how do you feel? Is this Adam Baldwin's first time at DragonCon or no? Because I can't seem to recall.
No, he's been to DragonCon actually multiple times. Okay, I'm trying to think of the last time he'd been there. It wasn't when I was part of Whedonverse, so it's been a couple of years, but he'd been a couple of times with the Firefly group. And so this year for Firefly, we've just got he and Ron Glass, but he had been before. I had met him before, just as an attendee or when I was working another track. But yeah, he's been before, and he's a really dynamic guest. He has lots of fun stories to tell, and so he's really fun to see because he's kind of a goober. But
So do you have any inside information about the track or panel he may or may not be doing? Because at the Whedon Universe website, there isn't really much about other than, hey, he's coming to DragonCon.
If you look at the schedule, rather than just him appearing as a guest, it shows which panels he's going to be on.
Okay.
And so right now, we actually have him as being on a panel on Friday for just specifically Firefly Serenity panel. It's just he and Ron Glass. And then Saturday, he's going to be on a Guests of the Whedonverse panel with Ron Glass, Adam Baldwin. Adam Baldwin's on a panel with Adam Baldwin. Anyway. J. August Richards and Emma Caulfield. And then he's also, and then he's also on a panel on Monday for guests of the Whedonverse. And so he's not on a panel with us on Sunday because the Sunday panel is all Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so it doesn't really fit that category.
I think you're gonna have to go to that panel, aren't you?
I'm gonna have to go to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel because
one thing that we really wanted to ask about. I know Todd McIntosh is going to be there, and that guy is absolutely amazing as far as the work that he's done across the Whedon universe.
Yep.
Are you guys going to be running any workshops with him, or is he going to be talking about tutorials or anything like that?
Okay, I am so excited about him. He was like my second past J. August Richards. I am so excited about him. I can't even tell you. And he was a person that I randomly got because of talking to somebody at another con because I get bored while I wait in line.
Mm-hmm.
I can't not.
Oh, trust me, we are very familiar.
Yeah.
So I was talking to another makeup artist and mentioned that I was a huge fan of Buffy. And he's like, oh, I should put you in touch with my friend Todd. And I'm like, oh, Todd? Who's Todd?
Who's Todd?
Nice.
So talk to people, even if it's out of your comfort zone. Sometimes fabulous magic things happen. But so he called me, and we started talking about things that he could possibly do at the con. So this year, he's on Friday, he's going to be on our main guest panel, so that, like, you know, we sort of introduce him to the con, because I think some people just aren't going to know who he is, because unless you are really familiar with the backstage aspects of the shows, you're not really going to know who he is. And so we're going to have him on the main panel for the Buffy guest panel on Friday. But then on, let me make sure that I'm saying this right. So on Saturday, we are having him have a panel. So we're going to take apart the episode Hush and talk about all of the makeup for the episode Hush and how it was done and the different pieces that they used, and basically just take apart that one specific episode, because we, cool. As a staff, thought that would be an interesting one for our audience.
Absolutely, I totally agree. That's a really good episode to do.
Casey from Bookworm.
Yeah, we've got another show that we do on our network called Bookworm, and Casey, one of the co-hosts, she's legitimately the biggest Buffy fan I've ever met.
Her Twitter handle is @SlayerStick.
Yeah, that's really what it is. So
yeah.
And then the second one we're doing with him is actually he has all of these behind the scenes photographs that he's taken, and so it's all of these pictures that like are nowhere else. And so he's bringing them and basically taking the ones that he likes the best of him either like doing people's makeup or, you know, whatever, and sort of talking through the different things that have happened on Buffy and like giving kind of a, you know, backstage pass to what's happened on Buffy and the different makeup processes on Buffy. And so we're trying to give people like something that's never happened at Dragon Con for Buffy specifically, because I know other shows and movies and whatever have gotten this, but we've never really had makeup artists from Buffy at Dragon Con.
Right.
And so I'm like stupid excited about this.
That's awesome.
I can definitely understand the excitement there, because I mean, if you want to talk about as far as, you know, television makeup goes and even film makeup goes, that was a huge time in the industry where things were blowing up. Now we've got some other guests here. I know that Julie Benz is coming. I'm really excited that Amy Acker is going to be there. Amy Acker, she was Fred, and you know she was the lead role in Cabin in the Woods.
Well, and she's been in everything.
Absolutely,
I mean,
so many of
she was
works.
Whiskey and Dollhouse, and she's in that show Person of Interest now. I know that's not a Whedon project, but
still,
you know, she's
it's good to know
that
she's getting work, because I mean, like in Hollywood's kind of fickle sometimes. I really did want to ask you. I know that there is going to be the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, and the one thing that I think here, I noticed that a lot of the tracks haven't fully updated on the Dragon Con app yet. Do you know when the full schedule will be available for the Whedon universe on it?
We are not sure, because that's not up to us. We don't we don't have any control over the implementation of the app.
Okay.
And since they are, like right now, they're still getting guests. And so since that's happening, they're still updating the schedule. Like, you know, like this is not my track, but this was my former track. I used to be on the young adult literature track. Like they just got Harry Potter guests. And so like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the girl who plays Luna Lovegood is coming to DragonCon. So,
Wow,
that's
tra-la.
awesome.
That is
That,
very
yeah,
cool.
our other co-host for Bookworm, Whitney,
Yeah.
will freak out about
Yeah.
that one.
No.
Yeah. That's fantastic, actually.
So we know that Ron Glass is going to be there. I believe Julie Benz is going to be there.
Emma Caulfield.
Emma Caulfield's
is
gonna be there.
Yep, and this is her first DragonCon.
Whoa!
Oh, nice. That is excellent.
Yep, Amy and Emma. It's their first DragonCon, as well as Todd McIntosh, obviously.
That is gonna be one
That's
massive Buffy
huge.
panel.
Yeah,
That's-
I can't imagine just how you're gonna have so many Buffy. You're gonna have so many pleased Buffy fans at DragonCon this year. It's gonna be lovely.
Yes, and I will be one of them, because Buffy is what brought me to fandom and to DragonCon as a whole.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So we did want to talk about the events that you guys are having. Of course, I assume the sing-along blog, you'll get everybody together. I assume you guys will do a view, watch, and sing situation.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. That will, it's, if you've never been before, it's very much like Rocky Horror Picture Show, where it's performed in front of the screen. So if you like watching the performance, we're here for you. If you like just watching the show, we're here for you. If you'd like to sing along, also here for you. This year we're doing something different. So we're having two showings of the same show, rather than doing one of Buffy Horror Picture Show and one of Dr. Horrible, because we had some security concerns last year. So we're trying to even that out by doing one show this year and then the next show next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what was going on, because I had read that on your page that you split those out. So okay.
Yeah, we had some fights in line, including
What?
Atlanta PD
It's
having
funny
to
you
be called.
mentioned that. So a couple weeks ago on one of our shows, we actually talked specifically about nerd on nerd hate. Like, people getting in fights about things that, so it's interesting that...
I like this fandom. I like this fandom.
Right.
Brah.
You can like whatever you want.
Yeah,
just,
we support equal nerdity.
Equality and nerdom.
Yes, absolutely.
Nerddom.
I wanted
yes.
to ask you about the costume contest. Tell me a little bit about the costume contest this year.
So we have expanded one of our sections in the costume contest, which I'm super excited about, to include Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that I'm really happy about, because before it was just Avengers, and so now our costume contest, in addition to best Buffyverse, best Firefly Serenityverse and whatnot, we also have best Whedon's Marvelverse,
Okay.
so that you can include anything that Joss Whedon has touched in the Marvelverse.
That's a lot of stuff,
I was
actually.
gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's
a ton of stuff. So that's awesome.
And so we've got Best Buffyverse, Firefly, which obviously includes Serenity, Dr. Horrible, Whedon's Marvelverse, and then Kitchen Sink costume, which we sort of we designed that because we had someone show up as Kaylee as a Ghostbuster.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
Oh, I like
and we
it.
wanted to include people who were just really
Right.
interesting and
Nice.
thoughtful about that. It's just that's stupid cool, but outside our rules before just didn't have the ability to include that. So one of my former staffers, Maggie, just had this great idea of having a kitchen sink one. And so the problem is, there's a lot of them, we have a lot of entrants in that one thing, but everybody is up for the best in show. And so if you just have a really, really cool idea, you may go for.
So the kitchen sink is a little bit like a mashup in the Whedon universe, basically, right?
Right.
Okay. I like that a lot.
I really
actually.
dig that. So tell me, and this may be just because I'm not familiar with it, what is the Buffy Horror Picture Show 2015?
So Buffy Horror Picture Show 2015, it just is a placeholder for 2015. We're going to be doing Buffy Horror Picture Show. This year we're doing Dr. Horrible as our performance. In 2015 we'll be doing Buffy Horror Picture Show as our performance.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so it's letting
Okay.
people know that this year we're not going to be doing it, but we're definitely doing it next year.
Excellent. Well,
because we had people vote for which one we were going to do this year.
Okay.
Because I only have control over so much. At DragonCon, as the track director, people think I'm God Almighty, or that I have that much control. Oh, summer children, let me just tell you that I don't. I have control over so little. I don't get to choose which guests come to con. I don't get to choose which spaces I'm in. I don't get to choose a lot of things. But I have control over my schedule, or parts of it. And so since the security stuff came up, I wanted to try to keep people as safe as I could. And so when there were multiple fights, fights in line for people not being able to get in the door, and that's why there were fights in line.
Okay.
That's why we made the change. And so so I really wanted to give people as much say as I could about what I could give them say on. And so I had them vote about which one we would do first.
Nice. So the idea is to overall bring the quantity of people down so that you can handle them better, right? I mean, that was ultimately the reason for the split, I guess.
Well, it's to handle the largest number of people.
Right.
So we're doing 2 shows. So we'll have an 8:30 and then a 10.
Okay.
And so if you don't get into the 8:30, you'll get into the 10. You know, and so also DragonCon is changing how they're doing some of the lining up at the Westin. And so I think they're doing people counts now. And so there will be an end of the 8:30, and then there will be an end of the 10. And if you get to the end of the 10, you know you're not getting in.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
I think that actually is a really good way to do things. I did want to ask a question. Are you guys actually going to have a Lorne at your karaoke?
Why, yes, we are.
Oh yeah! So you got to tell me. You got to tell me about this.
Full makeup. Full makeup. One of the lovely people from Face Off who are going to be at DragonCon today, and hold on, let me find his name, because if he's going to do us a solid, I am so going to give his name out.
Awesome.
But he is going to do full makeup for one of our lovely staffers. There we go. Hold on. Roy Woolley.
Roy. He was season 3 of Face Off, wasn't he?
I think he was.
Season 3?
I think it was season 3.
And so, because we had somebody else slated to do it, and then she couldn't do it because she can't be at DragonCon this year. And so she hooked us up a solid and got us with Roy. Excellent. And so Roy has already designed the face mask for us and has already sent it over to my staffer, and it looks amazing. And I can't send it to you because I'm not allowed. But
it's okay.
Or else I totally would.
Oh no, trust me, we're gonna be at a lot of the events.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have
to see. So solid.
Yeah.
And then one of my other staffers does karaoke, and so he's going to run the karaoke portion of it.
Okay.
So I got super lucky because I've got 2 giant awesome nerds on my staff, and so one of them is gonna rock the Lorne part, and the other one's going to run the karaoke portion. And then we've got 3 volunteers so far, and then a couple other people who are going to be the Lornettes. So we may have some performances as well during karaoke.
I'm excited about this.
That is awesome.
We're going to be there doing press, of course, for DragonCon, and we'll be walking around with our cameras, both are still in video. Are you guys absolutely cool with us dropping by and shooting some footage and hanging out with the people there?
I don't think they would have any problem whatsoever. Well, Martin is our Lorne, and I'm sure that he would be overjoyed. So.
Excellent.
Okay, yeah, I've got to go to this. So, before we wrap it up, I know you're busy. I know you've got probably a billion things you've got to do. Unfortunately, we can't keep you forever. Tell me, I know we talked about this a little bit before we started the interview, but I'd like to go over the Avengers Ball one more time. Just because it sounds like the coolest. I mean, are you guys doing like a dance, ooncy kind of rave, but yet with Avengers, or how's it going to go down?
Okay, so this was sort of my baby last year, because music is my thing. Like, I love music more than anything else in the whole wide. So last year, I had some friends who had done a performance for Masquerade as the Captain America and the USO girls. And so when I said I was going to do the Avengers Ball, they said, "Hey, do you want us to come and do our USO performance?" And I was like, "Well, yes, please. I would love that. That would be awesome." So we had them come and perform on stage. And they also did a secondary group of some of those people did a secondary performance of a gender-bent cosplay of the Avengers to the Spice Girls. so you never know where you're going to get at the Avengers Ball. But
well, I'll tell you that's what I really, really want. So
tell me what you want.
What do you really want? I want to go to this Avengers Ball. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, so what we do is we start in the 1940s with Captain America, the first Avenger, and then as the night goes on, the music gets more and more modern to get you to the newer Avengers.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
And so you start with the 40s and swing and all of that business, and as the night gets later and later, you get more into modern music. So this year...
This all sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
What was that?
I said this all sounds amazing. You guys have. I know that you've probably had to do a ton of planning, and you've probably been super busy doing all this stuff. But in that haste, what is? And I've got to ask, what is your favorite thing about the Whedon track and about Dragon Con in general?
Okay, so I'll go with Dragon Con in general because that answer is really easy for me. I've been coming to Dragon Con since 2003. And volunteering since 2004.
That's awesome.
So this is my 10th year. So,
wow.
I think that's right. Anyway, so I met one of my very best friends in line for James Marsters that first year, and I was in her wedding 2 years ago. And I met her because, again, I was bored in line, and I start talking to people because I'm bored. But the great thing about Dragon Con is if you're in line at Dragon Con, you know that those people love what you love, and you've got something to talk about instantly.
Yeah.
And you are never alone at Dragon Con. Like, there's always somebody who loves what you love, even if what you love is this, like, tiny baby minutia of fandom. And so there's always somebody who loves what you love just as much or more than you love it. And so you never feel like the biggest, like, loser in the world because, okay, you can't be a loser if somebody loves it as much as you do. Like, there's nothing bad about loving what I love if somebody else loves it.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, totally. I mean,
absolutely.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I remember back when I was like kind of like the outcast, oh my god, nerd, nobody wants to talk to that kid. And now, thank God that we're all on the same page with it, and nerddom is something to be empowering now. And you're totally right.
And even when you're there, and then the first time you go to a con, you're always a little apprehensive. You're always a little nervous. You're not sure. And then as soon as you step into a panel,
you feel great.
You see 500 people that are exactly like you. They like the same things you like. You start talking to them. Like for me, when I go to a panel, I won't sit with RJ. Because I don't
want to talk to you.
Well, I want to sit beside someone I've never met before.
Exactly.
Because I already know him. I already know what he likes, and so I purposely will go find somebody that I've never met, and I'll park right there and just start up a conversation. So
just one last question. So if you pick one thing, you're only allowed to attend one thing for the Whedonverse, what would it be? One thing.
Okay. So it's not going to be one of our big things, because I feel like people are going to go to that whether I talk about them or not. It's on Friday. It's at 2:30, and it's the science of the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, we've got
I'm interested.
a PhD and martial artist and a oh crap, why am I blanking on this? A pilot and another scientist all on this panel to talk about the realities of flight and repulsor technology and everything in that universe. And like what is likely to happen, what is real, what do we have now, what is coming down the pipeline, and whatever. And I am such a nerd for science.
Awesome.
So if you can, somebody proposed a panel to me like a couple of years ago about how the Firefly universe wouldn't have stayed around. Like eventually it would have like collapsed like a flan in a cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and it was all due to the science of the universe. And like I love things like that and finding out things like that. And so this is actually based on the science that we have now and based on what people have observed about the universe, but also talking about little things about like fights and things on the show and how like different people's fight styles and what would be realistic based on how they fight and how they would hurt themselves or what have you. And so both different kinds of science, both, mathematical and that kind of science, but also physical science.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Absolutely.
And I think I hate to admit this. I think I'm going to spend most of Dragon Con in the Whedonverse, area. I'm going to be stuck.
I don't mind to admit that at all.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know. Well, I think that's Steven. Do you have anything left for? I mean,
the only thing I was going to say, you mentioned this is your 10th year as a volunteer. For those who are watching the show who are curious about maybe for 2015, maybe volunteering for the Whedon Universe or for any other track for that matter, what might they need?
DragonCon. Now, if you're just looking to get in on the ground floor at DragonCon, your best thing ever is to just come and volunteer. They always need bodies. Always, always, always. So go to the website and go to the thing that says, like how to contact us, and send an email to the volunteer coordinator, because he'll fit you with who needs volunteers. Now, if you're looking to get on tracks, which is really difficult because they almost never need people because there's always a waiting list. But that said, there have been 3 tracks in the last 2 weeks that have lost staffers.
Oh, wow.
So, and this is like a month before the con, so you're like scrambling. But the best way to get on their radar is to volunteer to speak on panels, to send them information about running your own panel, to show up at their panels and talk to the directors and say, hi, my name's Mary, and I really loved your panel, and I would really love to be considered for things. And so talk to them, get your face in front of them, send them emails, polite emails that I'm
So all caps
about
right
the things you liked about the year, and things that you think would be great to have next year, or things that you didn't like about the year, but say it as constructive criticism. We know we didn't do hot, like on some things, like sometimes we messed up, like hello, but we need to learn from those things. So like, but get your name in front of us, talk to us, like start a dialogue. And so, but really like start to volunteer so we know you'll show up.
All right, so basically, yes, that's absolutely great advice. Make sure you're dependable. Just get out there, get in front of people, make sure that you're seen. And I think that's it's amazing. Well, we appreciate having you on the show, and I'm gonna let Steve wrap it.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you taking the time. We know you're very, very busy,
especially with con being 12 days away at this point.
So we look. I look forward to the Whedon Universe more than anything, and I think at this point, it's all about. Well, I know you like Buffy.
I love Buffy and Angel.
For me, it's about Firefly and Serenity because,
well, yeah, the hat is
you've seen my car.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying. So, I am a huge, huge Whedon fan. Although he does kill everyone I love.
Of course he does.
But it's okay. I still love him, and I still go back. But we do definitely appreciate your time. And if there's anything we can do, let us know. And I'll leave you with the one last word, and then we're out.
Last word, and we're out. No, I really just wanted to thank you for being here, taking time out of your day to do this interview with us, and we're definitely hoping to see you guys at DragonCon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. Do you got anything you want to say to the fans before we wrap it?
Just come on over. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you didn't like. Like, honestly, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you didn't like something. If you think that we should do something different, please, please, please tell us. Because we get some of our best ideas for next year and how to make things better from people who didn't like what we did. Like, it really doesn't hurt my feelings. I am from a giant family, and it takes a lot to hurt my feelings.
Awesome.
Excellent.
A lot.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, Mary. We appreciate it. We'll go ahead and I guess we're gonna wrap it. I don't want to, but we got to. And we'll see you live in person.
It was fun, and we'll see you at DragonCon.
So again, we just wanted to say thank you to Mary. That was an amazing interview.
That was the best interview.
And we are, as we mentioned already, we're going to be at DragonCon.
We will be there.
Please, if you're at DragonCon, come see us.
Yeah, or actually, if you're at DragonCon, go see the Whedonverse track.
Oh my God, that Buffy panel.
It's gonna be stacked. Every single one of the tracks and every single one of the things. And I really do want to talk about this. If you like nerd science, and I love nerd science,
that Friday night panel,
I'm really excited about.
Yes, I am too. Anytime anyone does like myth busting or the science of a show
or how things are just going to possibly function in reality, I'm there.
Totally in for that. So, in the meantime, tomorrow is Popped Culture, so stick around for that. Like us on Facebook,
subscribe to us on YouTube,
and we'll see you. We're out.
Deuces.
Hey, welcome back to That Stupid Podcast. It's Wednesday, the 19th of August, 2014.
And for this Wildcard Wednesday, we have a special treat for you.
We do. We're talking to Mary
Moline.
Come on. Mary Moline. Who is Mary Moline?
Oh, I don't know. She's the director for the Whedonverse track at
Oh
Dragon
my
Con.
God!
What?
Yes.
How did we get this kind of an exclusive? I don't even know. We're a terrible show and no one should watch us. Everyone should watch us. We're great.
Thank you. That was a good save.
know,
That was a
I
very
know,
good
I
save.
know.
That was a very good save. But we are talking to Mary Moline right now, right here. Stick around because it's amazing.
Actually, you'll just find out a lot of cool stuff about Dragon Con.
We're in the wrong
Damn it, that was a good one. Why do you keep fucking it up with the hat thing?
I gotta never do this again.
No, I am never allowing you to change hats. This is bullshit.